Hello, everybody, and welcome to Cinderella Phenomenon. We are here at the tavern, back again. We are dating Rumpelstiltskin, who has the most annoying voice, because that's how I think of him as a person. I just don't like people who flirt so much, because, oh my gosh, I'm gonna have to, start doing, animated D&D stories or something, because just so much has happened. But I can't make intimidating villains, because whenever I try to do something intimidating, everyone else reads it as flirtation and wants to seduce them, or have them seduce them, and I'm just like, guys, I'm trying to be scary, and it just doesn't work. But yeah, people who flirt are terrifying, and Rumpelstiltskin does nothing but flirt. So, the days at the tavern go by quickly over the next week. Princess? Princess? You've been staring off into space. I was just thinking. I just finished using Mr. Broom, and now I'm helping Annis sort some of the shelves in the back. Rumple has taken up the serving for today. The women always enjoy him, but the men are always glaring at him. I wonder why. They're jealous of Rumple, I think. Who? The other men. Annis looks over at the men who are glaring at Rumple as he drifts between tables. I'm worried about Rumple too. What are you talking about? You were looking at Rumple with a funny expression on your face. No, I wasn't. My words are clipped and my voice is cold. No, I wasn't. Annis looks at me sadly, but I do not care. What I do is none of her business. I think the girls are jealous of you too. What? I glance around the tavern and notice that there are girls glowering at me. I am not unaccustomed to these glares, since people have always looked at me this way. So what? During the times I left the palace, people gave me the same looks. But this feels different somehow. Why would they be jealous? Because you're Rumple's partner. I'm not his partner. You're not? He's been telling everyone that you are. Ugh, I never agreed to being partners with him. I felt your longing gaze on my back, and I have arrived, my princess. Rumple suddenly appears before the two of us, smiling brightly. I suddenly have the strong urge to slap the smile right off his face. We are not partners. But princess, you asked for my advice. Advice that I gave to you because I care. No one else cares about you as much as I. And so I proclaimed us both partners because we are a match made in heaven above. You are so overwhelmed with gratitude that you are at a loss for words. Oh, I cannot believe. If I could throw something at you, I would. A punch packed with as much strength as your love. I can only groan in response. Oh my! Oh no. Hello everyone. It sounds like you're having fun. How is this fun? Rumple is never fun. All he does is spout nonsense. Oh, no, my heart. He doesn't mean any harm, princess. He's just filled to the brim with so many compliments, and he needs to get them off his chest. Well, he can go direct them at one of his many other adoring fans. I shift my gaze to Rumple and furrow my brows at him. Or do you only direct them at me because you enjoy how much I ignore you? I only wanted to help, princess. That's what partners do, right? But we are not partners. Just try this partnership out, princess. I promise it will be worth your while. Nothing ventured, nothing gained, princess. You can always change partners. Lady Parfait, you've broken my heart. You are very good at healing your own broken heart by now, Rumple. Anyway, I'm sorry to interrupt. I only needed to speak with Anise to make sure she doesn't need any help with a particular list. A list? A list of herbs for me. Anise has always been nice enough to gather herbs for me.
Lady Parfait, is this about your body?
What's wrong with your body? Oh, it's nothing to concern yourself with, Princess. My body is just a little frail because of the burden on it.
That's right. Parfait mentioned having to bear the crystallum lucis. A thought occurs to me as I look at her more closely. Wait, couldn't you use your magic to heal yourself?
Parfait shakes her head and sighs. I don't have the ability to heal. None of us do, except for one particular witch who calls herself the Witch Doctor.
Witch Doctor?
Is something wrong?
Rumple shakes his head and gives her a wistful smile. That name just sounds familiar somehow, almost as if it's tickling a corner of my memory that I do not possess.
It's likely you've heard about her from someone else before. Not at all that it's actually part of your backstory. Humans do know of her existence after all.
A witch? She's not a fairy? For some reason I had thought fairies would be more likely to heal people, not witches.
She is indeed a witch, that is what they say. Though I have never met her myself. She is the only one who can heal illnesses with magic. She doesn't associate with other witches, though, and keeps to herself. Nobody has known where to find her for a very long time.
Suffice it to say, we could never seek out help from her, even if we wanted to. Maybe she could heal my broken mind and my broken heart.
Parfait shakes her head. No, unfortunately not.
Rumple looks grim, but Parfait quickly dissipates the gloomy atmosphere with a clap of her hands.
If Delora were here, she would say, "All right, story time is over."
That was all very interesting.
Interesting, but it does not really help anyone. Your body is the way it is because of the Great War, then? Like I told you before, the Great War has made my body a lot weaker. This is something that cannot be healed, and I don't have an heir, so...
Parfait looks about ready to say something, but goes silent. She has a sad look on her face, and I don't understand why. Anise immediately speaks up.
I think I'll be okay, Lady Parfait. I was actually going to go on an errand run in a few minutes.
Do you need any help? I would be more than happy to escort a lovely lady like yourself around town.
Anise pulls a list out of a bag nearby and holds it out. There are only a few items on the list as far as I can see. Don't worry about it, Rumple. It's not that much at all.
Rumple stares at the list. His expression suddenly smooths into something more serious. May I have that? Anise hands him the list and slowly takes a... him, not Anise, takes a pen out of his pocket. I stare as he looks over the list quietly, then scribbles some things down on the bottom. Afterwards, he hands it over to Anise. I've added some things that might be helpful. The herbs on that list are for joint pains, and you might want to add something a little more general. How does he know all that? Everyone is staring at Rumple with wide eyes. Even Parfait looks impressed.
You've used herbs before, Rumple?
Maybe. I don't remember. But for some reason, names came to the top of my head as I was looking at the list.
Thank you.
It is always my pleasure to help a lovely lady. Now, Anise, please let me accompany you to town. I would love to help with whatever I can, and more names might come to me.
That sounds nice. Thank you, Rumple.
Rumple turns to me, a mischievous smile on his face. Whenever he looks at me like that, I know he is going to suggest something ridiculous. Princess Lucette should accompany us for the, experience. I do not need experience. How are you going to shower people with compliments if you know nothing about them? Being out in town will be good for you. Rumple has a point. The more you expand your world, the more willing you are to learn about people. I do not need to be lectured. Oh, Princess, it wasn't meant to be a lecture. I'm just letting you know that experience is invaluable. Come on, Princess. Let us escort the lovely Anise around town. What about your work? Rumple puts a finger to my lips and grins. No one seems to have thought of that, so it will be our little secret. I slap his hand away. Pa pa pa. But he just grins at me jovially. How did I get dragged into this? Please, don't stay out too long. We won't. Interesting. I make my way into town with Rumple and Anise. The majority of the conversations we have are one-sided, with Rumple giving us both the usual compliments. He seems to tire of it. I don't know how he stands it. Rumple helps Anise pick certain herbs and a few other medications and accepts all of the compliments she gives him with a triumphant smile. I know Anise knows about herbs because she's helped me before, but how does Rumple know so much about them? This must be a part of the past that he doesn't remember. Anise enters a store by herself at one point, leaving me alone with Rumple. I am a mysterious man, aren't I? I turn to look at him and notice the easy smile adorning his face. A man with amnesia, full of secrets, after all. I bet you're even more curious about me. Women always love mysterious men. Oh my gosh. I do not particularly care. But Princess, if my curse is my amnesia, then should you care somehow? As partners, we're going to help each other out, right? I do not see how I can help you with your amnesia. Maybe this is a spell that is only broken by true love's kiss. Shall we see? He leans toward me with a playful smile on his face. I am accustomed to this behavior by now, so this does not faze me, and I merely sigh at his nonsense. You already said yourself that you need to gather entries from some kind of journal. Oh, Princess, you're no fun. A little kiss wouldn't hurt anyone. I would die before I would kiss you. Princess, that's so sad. He says that, but he's still smiling. Why is he so unfazed by everything I say to him? You only ever have terrible suggestions. It was a mistake to trust you might have good advice. But I have great ideas. You haven't helped with my curse at all. I have been trying, though. You haven't even told me how to get a good deed. I told you before, Princess. Compliments make a person happy, and making a person happy is a good deed. So you flirting with women and using shallow compliments on them is a good deed? On the surface, the compliments may seem shallow, but if you swim a little deeper, complimenting people cannot be a good deed. But making them happy is. All you have to do is listen to people, sympathize with them, maybe get to know them, and you can make them happy by doing even small things for them. Women enjoy the compliments, Princess. Besides, how could I see such beauties and not compliment them? It would be a disservice. You give compliments to people you do not even care about. Oh, Princess. Rumple's voice trails off as he stares past me. His smile falters for a few moments, and a look of confusion ripples his features. I turn to follow his gaze and see a small boy staring at us. He is shyly hiding behind some kind of notebook. There's that seriousness again.
It was the same thing that happened when he was adding something to the list for parfait. Then suddenly, the expression changes into Rumple's usual bright smile. "Hello there. Would you like to come and speak with us, young sir?"
You don't remember me, sir?
"Oh, do I know you?"
I used to come to your clinic. You saved me before."
The boy draws closer to us, still hiding shyly behind his notebook. I'm sorry, little sir. I'm afraid that my memories are a bit scrambled right now. I can't even remember my own name."
Really?
Where is Anise? Why is she taking so long? The last thing I want to hear is a conversation between Rumple and some child. Is he going to shower this boy with compliments too? It's a shame that I can't remember a boy as bright as yourself. And there it is.
I'm not that bright, sir. Not as bright as you, but I want to be.
He holds up his notebook, which has a small name scribbled in the corner. The words, "My Dreams," are written on the front cover in cursive letters. What's this?
I want to be just like you when I grow up. So I started a book of dreams, just like my mom told me to. She said I could become a doctor too, so long as I tried my best.
A doctor?
You forgot that you were a doctor, sir?
Rumple? A doctor? The boy continues to hold out the book, and finally, Rumple takes it and flips it open to the front page. Rumple is holding the book close to his face, so I cannot see it. I rise to the tips of my toes and attempt to look over his shoulder. At first, Rumple does not notice me as he stares at the page. Then, belatedly, he realizes I am there and lowers the book so I can read too. I lean so close to him our shoulders brush. My eyes scan over the page quickly. The handwriting is crude, barely readable actually, but I can still make out the gist of it. Rumple slowly reads the words aloud. "When I am older, I want to be exactly like the kind of doctor that saved me when I had no one else to go to."
The boy's face flushes as Rumple reads his words aloud before his curious gaze lands on me. I don't remember you.
I look at the boy, irritated.
Are you the doctor's wife?
Rumple suddenly looks up, eyes wide. He looks down at the boy, then at me, his face suddenly solemn. I am surprised by the words that leave his mouth next. "Yes, she is."
Hey!
He takes my hand in his and looks down at me, an almost sad look on his face. What is wrong with him? I kind of want to save here, just because, one, I'm curious about what happens if we slap him or pull our hand away. So, because slapping him might bring him to his senses, but pulling my hand away might make him sad, so I'm gonna slap him. Let go of me! Rumple's eyes crease with worry as he holds tightly to my hand. The sadness in his eyes becomes anxiety, and I see something like fear dancing in his eyes. You really think it was my fault? The look in his eyes is so vacant, almost like he's looking right through me. It is as if he is in some kind of trance. The way he looks at me makes my skin crawl. His grip on my hand tightens, making me shudder. Rather than slap his hand away, I'll reach out with my free hand and slap his face. I stare, perplexed at the sudden bafflement on Rumple's face. Did the slap to his face knock him out of that strange trance? He is being even stranger than normal, and the intensity of the look in his eyes is scaring me. Rumple stares at me for a few moments, blinking slowly. Oh no, I blinked out. I'm sorry, Princess. What just happened to him? The way he was speaking was so strange, almost like he was in some kind of trance. But I know how people are. They lie and put on faces. I'm sorry for spacing out. If I invaded your space, then I am sorry. You're apologizing? You never apologized before. Rumple puts a hand to his cheek where I slapped him. Ah, ding-a-ling-a-ling! I think I deserved that. Thanks for getting me out of whatever that was. All at once, the sheepish smile breaks into something cheerful again. He is still smiling at me, even though I was so curt with him. Rumple is so confusing. The boy looks bewildered. Don't worry about that, little sir. This one here is a feisty thing. I deserved whatever she just did. So she's not your wife, sir? Rumple looks a little surprised, and then he laughs. Unfortunately, no. The beautiful lady here is not my wife. Rumple absently rubs at the back of his neck as he looks up at the sky. I'm not entirely sure what just happened, but it seems like I recovered something very important today. Or the beginnings of something important. Something important? Is he talking about a memory? He had a wife, apparently. He hands the book back to the boy, then he leans down and sets a hand on the boy's head. A bell chimes behind us as a niece comes out of the store, carrying a bag filled with what I assume are herbs and medicines. The boy once again cowers behind his book. Oh, who's this? The wonderful little sir that helped me regain a very important memory. An important memory? Rumple stands, looking triumphant. I, my good lady, am a doctor. Oh, really? Truly. Rumple turns back to the boy, who he asks a few more questions. He even asks the boy his name, but much to my surprise, the boy shakes his head. I'm sure you told me your name, but I don't remember it. It is like my curse. No one remembers me being a princess, and no one remembers Rumple's true name. Rumple's the witch doctor. That's how it is. He's the witch doctor. That's what. What? Rumple thanks the boy again many times over and even buys him a few pieces of candy. The boy's eyes are practically glowing with excitement and he does not stop smiling. After we see him off and start to head back to the tavern, I begin to contemplate. I am curious about something. Oh, you said that you needed to fill your journal with memories in order to get them back, but the journal you just read wasn't yours. It appears not. It seems that the 3 entries that trigger my memories just need to be written by people I know. Reading them triggers a memory, and then the full entry probably appears in my journal. I ought to check it when I get back. I see. But even without looking into the entry, a memory came to your mind? Rumple gives a short, distracted nod. It's not complete, so I'm hoping that something really has appeared in my journal. It feels like it must, considering I remembered something so important. Do you remember anything else at all? The young man that we just met. I believed he used to come watch me work before. I knew him. He used to look up to me. He was a sweet child. The memory is foggy, but yes, I believe something did happen to him. He became ill. The details of how I saved him must be in the journal. Even though this does not pertain to my curse, I am curious what his journal might say. I can't remember fully, but the memory feels sad somehow. He turns to me, eyebrows knit together. It is strange to see him with such a serious expression on his face. I really am sorry about earlier, Princess. I think I was on the verge of a memory, but then it got tangled up in my head. I am surprised by his sudden change in topic. I shake my head slowly. He is quiet for a few moments before suddenly his smile comes back and he laughs jovially, telling us there is no point in worrying. At the town's outskirts, I turn, feeling eyes on my back. And we will see what those eyes are in the next episode. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you then. Bye-bye!